Hello there, welcome to the Football Bloc. My name is Brandon. Today I'm going to give you my predictions for Matchday 1 of the 2022 World Cup, as well as a brief prediction or brief reaction to my prediction to the opening match. If that sounds interesting, then let's hop right into it. So the World Cup has officially kicked off. We just saw Qatar go up against Ecuador in a pretty interesting opening match of the World Cup, in my opinion. I'm going to give my brief reaction to that match, reaction to my prediction. Didn't go too well, brief spoiler. And then I'm going to give my prediction for each of all the first rounds of group stage matches. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So Qatar versus Ecuador, opening match of the World Cup. Like I said in the other video, not the most momentous clash of titans that you'll see in an opening match, but still an interesting game nonetheless. And my prediction was that Qatar was going to come out on top, 2-1 winners. I said that it'd be a pretty narrow game, but Qatar's strategy of being a team that likes to play in transition would be the decider, and that was completely wrong, just to say the least. I mean, I think that was their intention, but I gotta say, Qatar were atrocious. They played awful. And, I'm not one of these people that sat back and was like, oh, Qatar never played at a World Cup. They're a garbage team. Like, no, they're a legitimately good team. They've played well at all these other tournaments before. But I think just the limelight, the pressure of being the host nation, their first ever World Cup match, the opening game of the World Cup. These guys, this is the biggest game they've ever played in their entire careers. I think that came crashing down on them. And also, I will admit, I think I undersold Ecuador a little bit. I think I overlooked them. Looking back at their record, they're actually on a pretty remarkable undefeated streak. They also haven't conceded a goal in like nearly 700 minutes now. And that includes draws against Brazil and Argentina as well. So, I think Ecuador in particular, and Valencia, had a really good game, a statement win from them. And considering that Senegal isn't doing too well with their injuries, I don't know, maybe Ecuador is a surprise team for this tournament. Maybe they'll squeak into the knockout round. But with that out of the way, let's get into the predictions for all the matches in Matchday 1. So as you can see here on my screen, we have this website here that's going to give like a brief rundown of each group as well as these matches. So for today's video, I'm only going to do the matches for Matchday 1. So we already saw this one here. Ecuador beat Qatar 2-0. And then we have Senegal versus the Netherlands. Now, I think this would be a pretty evenly tight match if everyone was fit and everyone was playing to their ability. But Senegal have had some serious problems. Obviously, Sadio Mane is out with an injury. They have also had some injuries to their fullbacks. And Mendy and Koulibaly aren't in the best form. Meanwhile, the Netherlands are, in my opinion, probably the best European team just on form right now. So I'm going to say repeat score of the other game. Say Netherlands win 2-0. Let's go into Group B. We have England versus Iran. This game, I think it's going to be really tight. I think Iran is actually a much better team than people are giving them credit for. But still, England are by far the most talented team in this group. So I think it's going to be close, but I think they'll come out 1-0 winners. And then we have USA versus Wales. And now this will be an interesting match. I think this can really go either way. I think the U.S. is overall a better team than Wales, but Wales has a guy like Gareth Bale who can just win a game with a single kick of the ball. But, call me biased. I'm going to side with the U.S. on this one. I'm going to say 2-1 win. I don't think it's going to be a super convincing victory, but I think they'll come out on top. And we have Group C here. Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. I do think the Saudi Arabia team is, again, a lot better than people are giving them credit for, but at the same time, I think Argentina are the best team in the world right now. They are my tournament favorites. I think they're going to start off this World Cup with a pretty convincing win. I don't think they're going to blow at Saudi Arabia, though. I think it's going to be 3-1. I think Saudi Arabia will grab a goal. And we have Mexico versus Poland. I'm going to say this one is 2-2. I think both these teams are relatively inconsistent teams, and they both have very, very shaky defenses. So I think we'll see some pretty nice goals in this game. I think it'll be an exciting game, but neither team will be able to get the full advantage of the other. All right, so now let's go on to Group D. We have Denmark versus Tunisia. I think that Tunisia and Australia in this group are the two worst teams to make it to the World Cup. Now, again, there's no such thing as a bad team if you make it to the World Cup, but still, just by comparison, there's got to be a team that's bottom of the list, and I think Tunisia and Australia are at the bottom. Meanwhile, I think Denmark is a surprise team. I think Denmark will get all the way to the semifinals if my predictions go correct. So I'm going to say they come out with a statement win. I'm going to say they beat Tunisia 5-1. And we have France versus Australia. I think France are clearly a better team than Australia. However, France are going through some pretty tough issues right now. Benzema is out with an injury. Kanté and Pogba, they've been ruled out for a while. Kimpembe's out. They just been ran ragged by injuries. Not only that, the team wasn't really playing that good beforehand. And in my opinion, this team overall was always overrated ever since the last World Cup, even the Euros in 2016, to be honest. So I'm going to say that France come out on top because, you know, they're ultimately a much more talented team, but it's going to be really close. I'm going to say 2-1 to France. So we have Group E here. We have Germany versus Japan. Some people have been saying that Japan might upset the top two. I think that is possible, but I'm not going to bet that on that happening. I'm going to say Germany come out maybe 1-0 winners. I think it's going to be close. You know, Spain versus Costa Rica. Fortunately for Costa Rica, I think they are easily the worst team in this group. The Spanish team, though inconsistent at times, has the potential to be the best team in the world, if not one of the best teams in the world. And, you know, I don't think there will be any match for Costa Rica here. I'm going to say Spain win 4-0. Group F right here. This is, in my opinion, the group of death. And we have two pretty interesting matchups here. We have Morocco versus Croatia. I think Croatia is ultimately going to top this group. And but that being said, I think Morocco is a strong team. It's not going to be an easy win. I'm going to say Croatia come out 2-1 winners. And then we have Belgium versus Canada. Now, I also think that Belgium are going to be the team that flops in this World Cup. I think they're going to be the big team that fails to make it out of the group stage. On the other hand, I think Canada will surprise a lot of people by making it to the knockout round. I don't think that Canada will beat Belgium, but I think it'll be a statement result for them. I think they'll tie 1-1. Now let's move on to Group G, and we have Switzerland versus Cameroon, Brazil versus Serbia. Switzerland versus Cameroon, I think this game could be pretty interesting. I think these teams are actually pretty evenly matched. I'm going to give the edge to Switzerland here, though. I'm going to say it's going to be 3-2 to Switzerland. Both these teams are, you know, they have some very, very visible weaknesses, but they're very talented in certain regards, especially when it comes to going forward. Brazil versus Serbia, you know, if it wasn't for Argentina, I think Brazil would be my favorites. Serbia is a good team. I think that they will ultimately make it out of the group, but I think they won't be able to match Brazil's just talent and the way they play together. I'm going to say Brazil won 2-0, a repeat of their match from the 2018 World Cup group stage. And then we have the last group here. We have Uruguay versus Korea Republic, and then we have Portugal versus Ghana. Now, I don't think that Korea are really going to be doing much this World Cup, especially with that injury to Son. Now, he will still be playing, but he may miss the first few games, and he won't also be to his full fitness. So I'm going to say Uruguay come out 3-0. I think Uruguay are going to be a pretty decent team this World Cup. And if you watch my other predictions, I think Portugal will go far this tournament, but I don't think that they will play particularly well. And I think that we will see this here in their game against Ghana. I think that they will come out 3-2 winners. I think it's going to be really close. I think they'll come away with the 3 points, but it's not going to be easy for them. So anyway, guys, that has been my predictions for the first match day, the first round of all the group stage matches at the 2022 World Cup. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree or disagree? Are there some, matches that you think I'm getting completely wrong? What do you think of the opening match of the World Cup? What did you think of Qatar's performance? What did you think of Enner Valencia's performance? I thought that guy was absolutely on fire. Hopefully he's not injured for the next few games, because he did have to wobble off with an injury. But anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with a friend. My name is Brandon. This has been the Football Bloc. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your night.